Am I the a-hole for refusing to meet the biological child I do not claim? Plus update. Original post. When I, 28 male, was 16, I was groomed and later essayed by today's standards by my manager, 23 female at the time. She had gotten pregnant. Now that child has reached out to me. It has gotten to the point that they are stalking me online. The mother contacted my girlfriend, who is rightfully upset. It feels like they took away our safety. I have become paranoid in public. Everyone that I talked to about this, including my boss since he noticed my work has been slacking, has told me that I owe this child a meeting, that every child has the right to know who their parents are. I disagree. I wanted nothing to do with that child when I was 16 and still do not want to be involved. My girlfriend thinks if I met him, all this would be over. I think they will want more from me. I feel like this makes me an a-hole, since I also never financially provided and most likely won't. I just want this to stop. Now for the top comments before reading the update. OP, this comment section is a mixed bag. Here's my take. Lock down your entire online persona, every single account. Set them all to private or friends only. Comb through your friends list and followers. Remove anyone you do not know personally. You want to have your entire online presence be that of a silhouette. There, but difficult to see the details of. Make it as hard as possible for them to see any details about you except for your name. I remember how it felt. I agree completely with all is said here, except I would add one thing. Give the kid your or your family's medical history. None of this is their fault either, and it's something that might actually save their life one day. This is great advice. My dad walked out when I was a kid and has rebuked every attempt I've made to make contact with him. He has grandkids now, but having his family history would have been so helpful. I did a 23andMe solely for this reason. It doesn't show every medical thing, but there are a few important pieces of medical information that I was able to find out for me and my kids too. All the best to you. Not the a-hole. If it's something you can't emotionally handle in person, then she has to accept it. You have the option of contacting a family lawyer for legal guidance. If there's no court order, then you don't owe any child support. But if the attorney sends a cease and desist letter, it could motivate them to go to court. Pressing charges for the assault could still be on the table too. An attorney can answer a lot of your questions and hopefully put you a little more at ease. It's an unhappy situation that never should have come to be. See, I'm a nasty bee, so I'd reply back to the mother and ask her if she really wants her child to be told that OP wants nothing to do with a child conceived from his mother raping a child. Not the a-hole. Why the heck are you telling your boss about this though? Stop telling people, and do not give her a single red cent. If OP works the same job, boss might know former manager, unfortunately. Now for some update. To start, I was not and still am not on the right headspace to revisit trauma that occurred 12 years ago. I also know that there are freaks who only want more details about the SA to wank off to. To clarify, I grew up in a Catholic household, the fourth child out of 12. Being born a male meant at 16, it was required by my parents that I get a job to help financially put food on the table. At 16, we, siblings, were taught abstinence until marriage, that any sexual act violates our body and breaks the trust and bond towards our future spouse in the eyes of God, which is why I never proposed to my girlfriend. We were never taught to not trust adults. Our parents failed to teach us consent though, power dynamics, or grooming tactics. I was a prime target. The grooming started with attention I liked, as I didn't get it from home. Positive affirmations about my work. Soon there were friendly lunches. I mean, to me at 16 we were friends, eating lunch together. Nothing strange. She gifted me clothing that is when I felt uncomfortable. The clothes stayed in my closet until one of my siblings started wearing them. Nobody in my household questioned where the clothes came from. I tried to make excuses as to why I couldn't be alone with her. I have too much work right now. Eventually, she called me into her office and asked if I knew the age of consent. I didn't. 16 is the answer. She admitted to being attracted to me, that if I was to keep being a man and providing for my family, I would do as she instructed. I didn't say no or fight back. I was scared of losing my job. I was terrified of my parents finding out. I blamed myself for having my virginity stolen. We now know that cases of SA and such are difficult to prosecute. The victim's testimony is what matters the most. I was a male, so I had that against me. I didn't fight back or say no. Clearly that means I wanted it, right? That I wanted to brag to my peers. What peers? My siblings? Other children that attended the church? About bagging some hot 23-year-old that I worked for. Society 12 years ago viewed male victims differently than they do now. The guilt of sinning had eaten at me. I went to confession and told everything. I was told by the church to remain hushed. I was silent for 12 years. Now my parents know, and they resent me for denying them a relationship with their grandchild. My siblings want me to stay away from their children. I asked my girlfriend for space so she isn't a casualty in my trauma. My boss reached out and apologized for what he had said at the moment. He thought about it and realized that he may have negativity affected me. He also offered to pay for my mental health care at the really nice facility he found that specializes in rape trauma. He reassured me that my job with his company is secured. I may take his offer. Reading some of these comments, I realized that I am not okay. I also reached out to my cousin's wife, lawyer. She says if I take any legal action, the outcome may not be what anyone wants. The word would get out, and that child will also be known as having a child rapist for a mother, along with a dad who left them. She is preparing medical records to send over and a verbal warning about the online stalking. I don't know who is behind the screen. A tech-savvy 11 or 12-year-old wanting answers, or her using this opportunity to victimize me again. Either way, no matter what I choose, I will be considered an a-hole with trauma, and that child will have some sort of trauma as well. Next story. I kicked my husband out after finding out he was trying to cheat with our daughter's best friend. Am I wrong? I, 37 female, have been married to my husband Joshua, 38 male, for 15 years. We also have a daughter, Dia, 19 female, and her best friend is a girl named Aliyah, 19 female, whose parents we're also close with. Some relevant context is that I'm Indian and Aliyah's parents are too. Joshua is white. I was sent screenshots of deeply inappropriate texts from Aliyah's dad that were sent from Joshua to Aliyah. They were dated back to January. My husband was coming onto Aliyah and venting to her. She kept telling him to cut it out. She wasn't interested and threatened to tell me what he was doing, and saying unless he didn't stop texting her, which my husband did. In those texts, there were some truly disgusting things said about both Dia and I's skin color. Joshua said that he wished both me and our daughter were light-skinned like Aliyah, so we weren't such embarrassments to bring around his family and co-workers. Joshua even went so far to say that he wished he could divorce me and marry someone like Aliyah to try again at a blended family. Aliyah's dad said that he wanted to unalive my husband, but he would wait for me to confront him before doing anything. I was disgusted and horrified at what those texts said, but held out the tiniest amount of hope that maybe they were made up, so I waited for Joshua to get home. He didn't even bother to deny it when I showed the texts to him, and just begged for me to forgive him, saying that it was a stressful time in his life. He didn't know what he was doing, and he hasn't tried anything with Aliyah or anyone else since. I just told him to get out of my sight, and I didn't want to see him for the time being. My husband seemed disappointed but packed a bag before leaving for my mother-in-law's house. That was 2 days ago, and I haven't spoken to anyone except my daughter and mother-in-law. I haven't told Dia what happened, and instead just told her that Joshua and I had a fight, so her dad is staying elsewhere for a while. Joshua hasn't tried to contact me either, except for asking me when he could come back, which I didn't respond to. My mother-in-law is begging for me to accept my husband back, so we can talk it out and move past it. She said that I shouldn't throw away 15 years of marriage over a few texts. I don't know what to do. I'm still having trouble accepting that my husband would do something like this, and my mother-in-law is making me feel guilty for kicking him out. With all due respect, screw your mother-in-law. What your husband did was inexcusable, both to you and your daughter. It's bad enough he was saying that sort of stuff about you and her and trying to start an affair, but to do with your daughter's barely legal friend? Throw the whole man out. Exactly. For me, the comments he made about his wife and daughter's skin tone is unforgivable. Obviously, the rest is bad, but to talk about her like that to someone else? F that. It wasn't just someone else, it was his daughter's best friend. Thank goodness she cut that nonsense out ASAP. Screw that POS and his mom. I'm sorry you're having to experience that. I would have a sit down with your daughter though, and be honest and explain everything. At 19, she's old enough to know and handle the truth. This will affect their relationship moving forward, but at least she will have the knowledge to make her own choices and protect herself, future friends she brings around, and possible children in the future. Honestly, I just want to protect her from the pain she would feel from knowing that her own father said such awful things about her, and the fact he would go after her best friend. She will find out eventually, and then she will resent both of you, him for saying it and you for tolerating it. And remember, if you divorce him, it's not you throwing away 15 years. He did that all by himself. Not wrong at all. There's many levels of inappropriate here, and I am so sad for you that your own husband said such awful things about your skin tone, much less hitting on a woman the same age as your daughter. The fact that he hasn't contacted you, but mother-in-law has, says a lot. I couldn't stay married to someone who had done that myself. I think it's partly because I've been with him for so long. I don't know how to envision the rest of my life without him. Next story. Am I wrong for blowing up on my girlfriend for letting her male friends sexualize her? I'm going to try and keep this as anonymous as possible. For whatever reason, curiosity got the better of me, so I looked through my girlfriend's phone to see how she felt about an issue she and I were having. Yes, we did talk about it, but she's typically the one to tell me what I want to hear. Long story short, I found text threads between her and 3 different men, each of whom she communicates with on a semi-regular basis. I know she had a sexual relationship of some fashion with each of them. This doesn't bother me. They were all before me, and the past is the past. However, it would appear each of these men still says sexually aggressive things to her. One dude in particular frequently tells her he would leave his wife for her. Another tells her he has to try and behave himself around her, and that he often thinks of hooking up with her. And the last one frequently gets drunk, says he misses when they used to date, and describes how he would like to hook up with her. Each of these men has made a reference to the fact that I exist, and each has stated they don't want me seeing the messages. While my girlfriend does not reciprocate, she does not ask them to stop. She even met with one of the men and purposely didn't tell me. When I confronted her about it, she explained that she didn't think anything of it and that she does not reciprocate the behaviors above. I expressed my concerns that these men don't seem to respect our relationship, given that they know about me, and continue to say sexually aggressive things. I know I was wrong to look through her phone, and I absolutely blew up on her for allowing it. So, am I wrong for having this reaction? Edit. She has blocked their numbers after I expressed my concerns. Those aren't male friends. Those are males that want in her pants. Huge difference. It's your relationship and your comfort level. If it were me, she would need to cut off contact with that type of behavior, or I would be gone. To be honest, the fact that she even entertained/allowed it in the first place would be enough for me to leave. You can force her to block them, but it doesn't change how she feels about them or her response to, at a minimum, the attention and validation that she clearly loves. She took it even further though and hid it willingly. There's no way I'd continue a relationship with this person, even if she blocked them all immediately. The trust would already be heavily shattered. I think part of what makes someone ready for a great and healthy relationship is understanding that a scenario doesn't have to involve actually sleeping with someone else to still be a bad idea to allow. No one is even talking about the fact that she met with one of them and purposely didn't tell you. That's not just a red flag, that's an entire act. She hid it from you because she knows it's wrong, and she feels like it's cheating. Jesus Christ, you don't need to know anything else. She very likely is, or has, cheated on you with them. All you know about is one time she did it. Last story. My boyfriend broke up with me saying that he wants to be in a monogamous relationship. Am I wrong in challenging him about the actual reason? My boyfriend is 23 and I am also 23. We have been in a relationship for 4.5 years. We had our ups and downs, but our relationship was overall a happy one. He was the one who wanted to live together, in fact. We have been living together for 2 years. We still live together, but he is planning to move as soon as he finds somewhere suitable. We have had a polyamorous relationship nearly the entire time that we were together. Even a few months ago, he was making plans with me for our future together and about moving to another place together when our lease ends. However, last week, he told me out of nowhere that he doesn't want to be in a polyamorous relationship and that he also ended things with his secondary partner for the same reason. I'm having a hard time believing him because if he wanted a monogamous relationship, we could have been in one. I do have a secondary partner too. And when I tried to have a discussion about our relationship possibly being monogamous, if that is what he wants, he said that he didn't think I would want to be unfair to my secondary partner, and so he didn't ask. My problem is that he never asked me, just went to a breakup straight away. It's for this reason that I don't believe he's telling me the real reason. Maybe he thinks this is an easy way out without resolving whatever issues he has with our relationship, but he's not interested in talking at all. Thinking about what is really going on has been driving me crazy. One of my friends said that I should try to find out if he's found someone who is only willing to have a monogamous relationship. I am going to ask him about this, but I wonder if he will lie about it. Am I wrong for confronting him about the real reasons? I asked the girl who was his secondary girlfriend whether he had discussed this with her, and she said that he only told her that he wants to now be in a monogamous relationship. Now for the comments before reading the mini update. Well, you didn't really say if you would have chosen a monogamous relationship if given the option, but it's also possible he wants to meet someone who has simply never been interested in polyamory going forward. I guess I don't really know why you mistrust his answer. No a-holes here, so long as you're respectful when you ask. But don't tell yourself it's the mystery of it all that's eating you up. I can be in a monogamous relationship, if he wants that. I don't believe him, because he didn't once discuss the possibility of us being monogamous before telling me he's ending things. Sorry, but he broke up with you and the other partner too. He doesn't want a monogamous relationship with either of you since he was in a polygamous relationship with both of you. It's just what he wants to do, and you should respect that preference. I think you should let it be. He probably wants a clean slate and with someone who wants the same as he does. This could just have become a sudden realization for him, and he probably wasn't as happy as you were in a polyamorous relationship. Leave him alone and find someone who wants what you want in a relationship. I agree. It doesn't matter what his reasons are. He wants out of the relationship? Just let him go. It's like OP wanted it more complicated than what he explained. Sometimes it's a simple and short explanation. He really doesn't have to explain more. Edit. Found out today that there is a girl that he is doing this for, except that it's not someone new. It's someone he has known through his sister for a while. Previously, she was in a relationship, but has been single for a few months, and he recently found out that she was single and tried to be with her. She told him she was interested, but only if he would be monogamous with her. He agreed to this, and that's why he broke up.